Sometimes you find yourself taking a static tripod shot of some gas cans in your backyard and you want to put some VFX in it. But because it's a static shot, you have to line things up manually, and that's kind of annoying. So just pick the tripod up at the end of the shot and then you'll have something to track. And there's a lot of reasons why I don't use F-Spy for this. One of them is that it takes a while to model everything, especially with complex scenes. There's another reason that's similar to why I don't use an HDRI and call it a day. HDRIs are great and they give you accurate ambient lighting and all that, but they don't give you accurate reflections when your CG object is close to real-world objects. So instead of modeling everything by hand, take a photoscan of the environment and put it into the tracked scene, and then there you go. Your shiny object reflects things in the correct way when it gets close to things. Photoscan, HDRI. Photoscan, HDRI. Look at the difference in the render. And the reflections will move around when the 3D object moves around. Notice anything else with the reflections? They're reflecting the back of the objects. It'd take even more time to get textures on the back faces of things if you modeled it by hand and only had one angle for reference. And there are a couple other things that you can use a photoscan for that make your VFX workflow way faster. But I know what you're thinking. I skipped over the hard part, and that's aligning the photoscan with your scene. But because you tracked your scene, there's a trick. Once you get it to rough scale, go to the motion tracking tab. Select a single track marker that corresponds with a landmark that's identifiable in both the footage and your photoscan. Being in textured view here really helps. Now in your scene, if you check the motion tracking visibility, when you select the camera, that tracking point in 3D space will be highlighted. Okay, cool, that means you have that marker selected. Now select some vertices on your photoscan that correspond with the landmark of the highlighted tracking point and hit Shift S and click on Cursor to Selected. This puts the cursor where the selected vertices are. Go into Object Mode, right-click the photoscan, click Origin, then Origin to 3D Cursor. Now if you select the camera and hit Shift S, Cursor to Selected, the cursor will go to the highlighted tracking point. And then select the photoscan, Shift S, selected to cursor, it'll snap the origin of the photoscan to where the tracking marker is. If you go to the top of your screen and click 3D cursor, now you can rotate and scale the camera and photoscan around their common point, and get into fine-tuning using the other tracking markers to help line everything else up. Now that you have your photoscan aligned with your scene, you can make 3D objects intersect with real-world objects. You can use the photoscan as a shadow catcher and get really accurate shadows. You can use it as a holdout for occlusion, and render out a mist pass that includes the real environment and added 3D objects for adding fog and whatever other compositing you use mist for. Okay, and this is where it gets crazy. There's a way to track multiple cameras in one scene and automatically line them up with one another by having tracking markers on the same landmarks between all the shots. You can create a floor, designate which axis they are on, and set the scale for each camera solve. All of the cameras in your scene will automatically align, leaving some margin from the placement of your tracking markers and the error of your solves. It's pretty great being able to switch between cameras in Blender, corresponding with different shots at different angles within a specific scene, all within one Blender file. I don't think this method is new by any means, but I've never seen a tutorial on it, and you're not going to see a tutorial on it either. I forgot how to do it. I literally forgot how to do it. Now, every time I try to do it, Blender crashes. And that brings me to the root of why I made this video. I know that Blender has a huge community, and I'm hoping that someone who knows how to do this, maybe in a better way, can see this video. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.